So next up at the money pit, the outside bench is completely rotten and needs replacing. So that's today's job. All the stumps really rotten, and the boards had it full of holes. So we've mixed up some concrete and bought a couple of buckets from, well, I was just going to replace it with big stumps we've just stolen out the woods up the road, but they're really full of holes, and when I jet washed this down, a load of bugs and nasties came out of it, and I'm worried that if that's wood rot it'll get into the garage. So we've decided against using these, and we're just going to put them back in the woods. So we bought some buckets from Wicks and we've mixed up some concrete, and they've set for a day and a half, and we've just tipped the first one out so it can dry from the inside. So the outside bit, which was exposed to the air, is dry, and the inside bit's quite wet, so we've tipped them out to dry. They look okay, maintenance free, concrete, should last within reason forever. A couple of small holes, but a couple of air pockets, but not too bad. Bashed it and banged it as much as I could. So that's step one complete. And both of them have come out the moulds reasonably well. I've got a little bit of breakage on there, but hey, it's supposed to look rustic and industrial. And anyway, you'll not notice it's out of a bucket. Yes, Laura says let's hear it for olive oil. We just sprayed some olive oil in the bucket to get it out, and it's worked, no problem. So we're just waiting on the top. Bracket time. So I've got some galvanised steel brackets, which aren't for holding seats on, they're for something else, but that doesn't matter. And I've been able to get some concrete anchor bolts. I was worried because there's no rebar reinforcement in this. When I drill through it would just crack off, but it hasn't happened. I moved them further in than what I thought I was going to, and they're all drilled in, ready to accept the top. So the top's turned up and it looks really good, but it's a little bit springy. But anyway, I've got a roll of brown paper and rolled it over the two concrete mounts over there, and just rubbed the top of the paper with a dirty finger to give me the 4 points on either side. I'm going to mount it to, and then I've drilled some holes and I've put some stainless steel fasteners. Fortunately, there's a stainless steel only shop just down the road who do a lot of orders on eBay, so they've sold me all of their hardware and it was only £10. I have trial fitted the top, and if I'm honest, it's a little bit springy, so I'm worried that it'll crack the resin, and I don't want that to happen. So Laura was always complaining I never throw anything out, and she's right, I don't, but this time it's coming in handy. I had 2 metal bars which were spare unused bits off that system. I think they were a little bit long, so I've angle ground a section off, and I'm just touching up the ends with primer and a little bit of black paint just to keep the rust off them. Cool, so that's worked out nice to cut those bars down, and they're all screwed to the bottom, so hopefully that will make the whole thing a little bit more rigid. So it's a little tricky getting the bolts in underneath, but we've managed to get them all on, and I've got these little plastic caps, which that's going to be easier said than done getting them on, but I'm hoping that if we can get them on, we're just trying to, you know, make it look as professional as we can. And I reckon if you bought this from a shop, it would have something like this on. Cool. That's going to trim them up nice and keep the weather out. And that's all those cover caps on. And there's the result. Pretty happy with it. There's my bars just underneath to strengthen it up. So now if I sit on it, it's absolutely rigid. So that's great, no wobble, no flex. So modern top, cool, resin, industrial concrete base, industrial brackets. Nice little seat for me and Laura to sit on and watch the kids playing badminton. So we originally came up with the idea from the top after meeting Fraser up at Solsgarth Manor. So Solsgarth is a farm shop that runs on 1 week of every month, and we met Fraser up there, and he was selling this top here, which was blue, and we thought that looked really cool. So we basically commissioned Fraser to make the top myself. He went down the local wood yard and he sent me a load of photographs of what was there. It was hard to make a decision, so I actually went down and me and Fraser went through all the pieces of wood and picked the one that I liked. Fraser then went away, made the box, and kept me appraised of everything as he went. So he gave me the sizes, made sure everything was okay with that score. He gave me a photograph of what it looked like mid-pour, just doing the top, and then he did the bottom. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. So Fraser, and he runs Wood Resin Creations. Hopefully he's got a Facebook and Instagram page. And all of the nuts and bolts were from Bolt Base in Alloa. So costs wise, we bought 3 buckets from Wicks and they were £7 each, so that was £21. 2 for the moulds, 1 to mix the cement up. We bought sand and cement from Beatson's, which was £14, and all of the bolts and nuts and bolts from Bolt Base were £10. The top was £160, making a total of £205. Now obviously the metal bars I already had, but other than that, and a little squirt of olive oil, and that was about it. So £205, bespoke bench. Not found another one. What do you think?